Hey, fight fans, welcome to episode 34 of the Hooks In podcast. We've got a banger tonight, so let's get right into it. We've got 4 guests joining the pod, starting off with UFC fighter Eryk Ya Anders. He's fighting this Saturday night versus Darren Stewart. He's a British MMA up-and-comer. And Anders, you might remember the name. He was in the NCAA football, Alabama Crimson Tide, as well as the CFL. He's going to be smashing skulls Saturday night. Get him locked in your parlays and tune into that interview. Next up, we've got Rani Yahya. He's a WEC and UFC veteran of over 10 years. Great insights from that interview, so make sure to listen to that one. Next up, we've got Yohan, the White Lion, Lainesse, fighting Friday night, CFFC 93, Huck Body versus our boy, Hooks and alum, Aaron Jeffrey. And then, of course, finally, but not last, Jason, the Vanilla Gorilla Witt, coming off a big W win. It was a finish, and he's looking to repeat that performance. Hot headline news is going to be breaking down UFC 259. A lot of stuff to talk about, so I'm not even going to, let the cat out of the bag. We'll let that one revisit that in that segment. And again, have that book. We've got UFC Fight Night, Edwards versus Bilal Muhammad. It'll be nice to see Edwards back in the ring and see what he can do, if he can make some noise in that division. Starting things off, Sony, why don't you kick off hot headline?
Yeah, last weekend, one of the most anticipated cards of 2021, let alone, within the last year, especially with the pandemic and everything. Loaded from bottom to top in the fight card world. It was tough to go into the final 5 fights, to be honest. Like the main card, like the prelims were absolutely unbelievable. They set a precedent that almost certainly wasn't going to be, I paused for a sec. I lost my train of thought.
No worries, man.
I'm trying to think of a word.
It's still recording.
Repeated. Okay. 3.
Just start the whole sentence and then they'll clip it.
I'll just say repeated. It's okay. 3, 2. Repeated. The undercard was absolutely unbelievable. So many finishes, so much action. Then we got to the main 5 fights. And, a couple we'll talk about here, but didn't live up to what we hoped in terms of getting to the end of the fight and it being extremely exciting, or, predictable ones. For example, like Islam Makhachev, you knew based on the betting line that it was going to be dominant ground, quick finish performance. And it was. He showed, how good he is and what he's going to become. Especially if Khabib hangs him up for the Dagestani world. But overall, an unbelievable card. And we'll chat about it a little bit more. What fights do you guys want to talk about quickly?
Well, the one that I wanted to get in there was Dominic Cruz. I think his performance really impressed me. And, it's really nice to see him back in the win column, because when Dom is confident and winning, man, he's great on the mic. He's been saying some great things, some great one-liners, great after fight. Of course, everyone knows the kind of drama going on with the whole Monster sponsorship thing. Him calling out a guy 100 pounds heavier than him, some executive business development guy or whatever, Hans Molenkamp, to a charity fight. And I loved it. I loved the way that he did it. And looking at it, looking back at a lot of these things, because I was noticing a pattern where a lot of the fighters, Izzy, Derek Lewis, guys were taking away that Monster can every time they sat down, right? Every time they sat down for the post conference or whatever, right? They're taking it away. And I think that guy really has rubbed so many people the wrong way. There's a viral video going around of all these clips of him basically roundhouse kicking drinks out of all these fighters' hands, and everyone's asking, well, why would they let them do it? Like, it looks kind of staged, right? That's the only way that they can explain all these fighters are letting them do it. Well, now it's starting to make sense in terms of him holding their sponsorship money kind of hostage and him forcing them to kind of prop him up on their social media and whatnot. So great stuff. I loved it. And yeah, Dom's one of my favorite. Even his that fight against Cody Garbrandt, that was a classic fight. Unfortunately, he lost that one, but that was one of the greatest losing efforts I've ever seen. It was a great performance by him, and I can't wait to see him. Who's he going to fight next? Dillashaw. That. Well, anyways, yeah, we'll get into that for a second. But what do you think about that, Zoni? I think you heard about the Dillashaw thing, eh?
Yeah, I did hear about that. Quickly, and to add to your point, like a lot of people are saying some negative stuff about this guy. I don't think he's like the creepy type, like the business owner down on James Street in Hamilton, Ontario here, but he's a weirdo on another level, and many people have said this. Even Dana alluded to it in the post-fight press conference. He's thought about it, and he's like, well, yeah, he's a complete weirdo, but he does business. Monster's been good for the
goofy
UFC.
Guy, yeah.
Yeah, goofy guy. But yeah, in terms of Dom Cruz, I mean, Dillashaw Sandhagen has to be the next fight. Looking within the top 10 in the bantamweight division, like Dominic Cruz didn't even have to take this fight. Casey Kenny wasn't even in the top 15, but he was a young guy with a lot of steam. He took it because he's been so inactive, and he wanted to put a young guy in his place, and he did. It was a split decision. I still think he won that unanimously, but it sets him up for facing somebody like Rob Font, like somebody in the top 5, somebody that could propel him to either number 1 contender status or potentially the winner of like Jan Sterling or Dillashaw and Sandhagen. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah. The other one, of course, the main thing everyone's talking about, of course, is Peter Yan versus Sterling. Controversial. I want to say, well, yeah, a bit of a controversial way that it ended, of course, right? I mean, the main thing I think a lot of people are saying in terms of what actually happened during the fight and that whole thing is that the decision should not be on the fighter there. The Sterling should not be the one that has to decide, am I going forward or not, right? It should be the doctor or the ref or both of them together or whatever, right? So that was kind of a whole, kind of a weird situation to kind of start off with, right? And in terms of my take in general, I mean, if you saw Ariel Helwani's kind of overall take on it, I tend to agree with him. And that was basically, to summarize it, is that everything that Sterling did was pretty okay up until after that that kind of, that interview, right? Even him taking that interview was a little bit, okay, what's apparently he was just rolling around all knocked out. Now he can just take this interview all of a sudden and speak fine, right? And then, okay, whatever. We'll leave it at that. If he had said, Pete, I'm going to take the rematch. It was a tough fight. Peter Yan's a great guy or whatever, tough guy. Fucking can't wait to fight him. Let's go, right? And then he put the belt aside, didn't talk about it. Instead, he continues to talk and dig himself more of a hole. Like the one video he released, kind of explaining the whole situation. He's literally explaining why he's not celebrating while sitting in a room with 50 balloons, a giant golden funk spelled out with balloons, and the belt sitting beside him like he won it. And, he's sitting in it's a room that looks like a sweet 16 for a girl or something, her birthday. And he's saying, oh, I'm not celebrating it. Dude, like what's happening here? Like there's again, so that's the reason why he's getting on the bad side with the fans there. I don't think anything towards the decision or whatever. I do believe he was concussed, all that stuff, but it was kind of the stuff afterwards that I think that kind of rubbed quite a few people the wrong way there. But now he's making more and more fans for Peter Yan here, and I think a lot of people are going to be cheering for him. The betting odds, as I think you said to me, Zona, in our group chat, they're minus 250 on, or at least on some places, that's what they're saying or predicting. So, it's going to be a very interesting rematch.
Kronzi?
Yeah, not much to say other than it was just unfortunate. Hate seeing fights end that way. At first, I kind of thought he was embellishing, rolling around this and that, and then you see the highlight a few more times. It's like, fuck, he crushed him. But again, yeah, shouldn't be the fighter's choice by any stretch. That's why the doctor's literally there. That's why they have video replay now. They created these rules, to hopefully minimize the controversy. And yeah, 100% agree. Z-Ball's what he did after, not good showmanship, gamesmanship, whatever you want to call that. It didn't sit well with me, and I'm cheering for Peter Yan the next time out. Sorry, Aljo, but yeah.
His only defense, and I'm not agreeing with it. This is just what he said, was he had like 100 people come into town and fly into town, and they set all that up. So, I mean, I don't think he was like blowing up the balloons, and
that's fair.
But
that's true.
But I know
there's always two sides.
Right?
Yeah.
There's
always... no, totally fair.
Yeah, so we'll see. It makes for exciting TV, the rematch, right? At least we've got.
Yeah, and I do think Aljo loses. I really do. I think Yohan wins this fight.
Yeah. Yohan looked to be the better fighter. Yeah.
Aljo, he was spamming spinning back fists at the end of the second round. Like he was tiring himself out so badly. So I think he can win if he comes in with a better strategy, right? And a more kind of tightened thing. Yeah, Peter Yan kind of took it to him like third or fourth round a little bit, but like not even that bad. And he was tired, and Aljo was tired as fuck. Like it's just like, you know what I mean? So I think if he comes in there with a little bit of different mindset of, okay, this is a 5-round fight, let's, maintain my or conserve my energy, right? And he was like, again, go back and watch in that second round. Peter Yan, I think, takes his back at the very end because he's just Sterling is putting pressure on him, like very excellent pressure. But there's a like Peter Yan puts pressure on, but he puts like conservative, powerful energy on, right? He picks his shots. That's the reason why he's so successful. That's the reason why he's that's why he's the champ. Again, that's up in the air. Who's the real champ, right? So it's funny now, right? Because Aljo was chirping Peter Yan's the paper champ when now he's the paper champ. So it's like you said, it's going to make for exciting lead up. Absolutely, UFC can do so many things with this. I hope Yan is on his English lessons right now. Rosetta English or whatever, and he's gonna be ready with some lines and shit. So since you said there's so much to do, Z, let me throw out a quick fun thing that I would just love to see. I'm not saying it would, I'm not saying it will, just it would be absolutely fucking awesome. So Yan ends up beating Sterling in the rematch. Yan faces the winner of Sandhagen and Dillashaw and beats them. Davidson Figueiredo wins in the rematch against Moreno, and then beats Askar Askarov, who's undefeated and moved himself up into the number one contender. Yan and fucking Davison would be just a sick fight. Two absolute brawlers, tough fuckers, and Figueiredo barely makes 125. So like there wouldn't be a huge weight discrepancy. I think that would be a fantastic fight somewhere down the line, a year down the line. Yeah, no, I love that. I think you just wrote the script for the next 2 years for those divisions right now. Because and Yan is not a huge 135er either, right? Like Aljo looked bigger than him, right? Like so I think Figueiredo fucking has no problem moving up fighting Yan, right? And
I just love to see that. That'd be sweet.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No, you're 100%. That's a good call. And then other than that, I mean Peter Yan. I'm sorry. Blachowicz and Izzy, I mean, that was, obviously the main event, but didn't quite live up to the main event name. I mean, obviously it was a good performance by Yan, but not doesn't make for the most exciting fight. But Izzy, I think the way he handled the loss was kind of the main thing that I took away from that fight. Actually, was just the way Izzy handled that loss. I think he's a great champ, and he's going to continue to destroy people at 185. And Blachowicz, him going up against Teixeira in the 205, I think that's a great fight too. So I think it kind of, it kind of actually worked out all right. I mean, if Izzy had won, obviously that would have been amazing, and I would have loved to see some great matchups there. Him moving up to heavyweight, I guess, or whatever, right? John Jones matchup, or however way they were going to do that, right? But there's a reason why there's weight classes, right? There's a reason why we've proven that. And Young just fought an excellent game plan, smart game plan, and won the fight and pretty steadily. Yeah. Oh, so underrated, right? And he says he's a funny guy. Like he was like about the Teixeira matchup. He's like, I finally get to fight a guy older than me. Like saying stuff like that. Like he's such a fun, oh man, I love that guy. So yeah, no, that's going to be a good fight, going to be a good match. And so anyway, I'm saying everything lines up well. I just like it kind of cleans up everything. Izzy can go back down to 185. Right. John Jones can do where the fuck he wants up there at heavyweight, whatever. We'll figure that out. But keeps the things a little cleaner right now. Let's get these, contenders in here. Let's get people fighting and keep the divisions going.
Absolutely. So. The only thing I was going to say is this will be the first time in a while that he's favored in a fight. He's only been favored 3 out of 11 of his last fights. Like that's insane.
That's true. Yeah.
Crazy. The one piece of controversy I guess I've observed is kind of the banter about the commentary. And a lot of the comments I'm seeing, I think I agree with it as well. One of the most biased commentary fights like ever. And I got tricked. Like I'm watching the fight. I was actually by myself. We had people over, but they had left. They had to drive home. And, you know, by the commentary alone, I thought Izzy was ahead. And then it gets to decision and I was like super surprised. But then I go do all this research online. I'm looking at the punch cast and all the strikes in this.
He doubled them up.
He doubled them up, and every single round, he had more significant strikes and total strikes. The leg kicks were the only advantage I could really tell from Izzy. Everything else, Yohan beat him. Body shots, head shots, takedowns,
which is crazy based on speed and for and Israel's power punching with combos. Like he got doubled up. It was unbelievable.
Yeah, like volume, right? Like the volume you would have expected the non-power puncher to lead by miles. Exactly. But the power puncher led in volume? Like, what? And it just made no sense. Like, you know, Rogan is like, oh, look at this, you know, hand movement and these jabs. And like Jan's landing heavy ones. And they don't even say anything. Oh, he's biting on everything. Yeah, he was. But that actually made good movement so that Izzy couldn't, like, it was good defense, right?
Yep.
But they twisted it in the way to, like, I guess kind of promote Izzy. And I feel like that's from Dana or the higher ups because he's the more marketable guy, right?
I agree with you. And like the pre-fight, pre-fight conference, talking like the media day stuff, he doesn't even get asked a question. What, like he's so overlooked, undervalued. It's unbelievable.
Yeah.
How?
Just really odd. Especially like sometimes the undercard stuff, that happens. But like for the headline title, the champion, to be like swept under the rug.
Oh yeah.
Like I don't know. So something tells me, Izzy was the one UFC was betting on, and obviously this guy's so marketable, right? He's got a great story, undefeated, blah, blah, blah. So I get it.
Did get knocked out twice by a kickboxing boy, though.
True, yeah.
Or not knocked out twice. Sorry, lost twice.
Lost decision and then knocked out. But yeah, just something that kind of struck me as odd, really. You know, and people online seem to agree with that. So, anyways.
Yeah. No, I completely agree as well. And you know, if those of you following Easy Lines will know, I was mainly on Izzy there, pretty hardcore, and going into the end of the second round, to be honest, I was so drunk or high or something, I wasn't even noticing the commentary. But what I was thinking, I wasn't listening to the commentary. But I did know that Izzy was losing. I actually could tell, like, just by the eye test, right? So I started hammering Yohan. At the end of the second round, Yohan was a plus 225. Wow. At the end of the second round. That's what I'm saying. And I'm like, what? And I wasn't looking at strikes. I wasn't looking at nothing. I was off of my own land. But when I was watching the fight and he was landing more, like I was like, fuck, I gotta start going the other way now, because it doesn't look like Izzy. Like Izzy's the one who's supposed to have the speed. He's supposed to have the advantage at the very beginning here. And like you guys were saying, it wasn't, right? He wasn't able to land what he usually could, because he doesn't have that reach advantage. He doesn't have that huge height advantage that he usually has over guys. Robert Whittaker's 5'11". I'm fucking the same height as Robert Whittaker. Yeah. Jan Blachowicz, no, this guy's 6'2". This guy ain't.
In the weigh-ins, they were eye to eye. Like they were equal.
And just the way at the end of the fight, he got to put all his weight on him. He wasn't getting up. Like his takedown defense, he offered no offense from the bottom because of the weight, and he controlled them. Like it was
a little bit of clinching, couldn't do anything. Like, right?
Great game plan.
And I'm going to, I mean, I'm not going to say Izzy quit or something, but I think after, you know, he didn't make any attempts to get up really.
Mentally,
like, you know, exactly. He knew he was already kind of done. And if he was to get back up, Jan was already beating him on the feet anyway. So he's like, I might as well just kind of chill here.
Defeated.
Not take as much,
defeated.
you know, kind of damage and whatnot. So You know, like I said, you know, but I totally respect him. I'm not hating on him at all. Like that was a huge fucking, they got a huge balls to do that, man. Like I said,
gain more respect
physics.
for Izzy, like losing, you know,
that was awesome.
Especially the way he handled himself, like pretty cocky coming into it, but that's selling tickets. So you got to keep that in mind. Yeah. Very classy after, humble. He's gained a fan out of me.
Yeah.
So
yeah, fair enough.
Dana and Rogan were way more upset by his losing than Izzy was himself. They're like, yeah, like, you're like, what the fuck?
Lost
like,
them a lot of money.
And you know, I get it at the end of the day. Like, okay, numbers are numbers, right? Your highest sales guy, fucking, you know, he's the one you want to succeed. You're the one, you know, you're feeding him whatever, Izzy, right? In this case, he's the most Instagram, whatever, right? So I get that. But at the end, like, again, it's not like Jan is like totally unmarketable. As I said, he's hilarious. He has great stories. He and he's so
speaks
successful.
Decent English too.
Speaks really good English. Yeah, I think excellent English.
And did you see, sort of finish up here? We got to get to easy lines, but just to finish up, he at the end of the fight, him and Izzy had an exchange, and it was like a misinterpretation. Like Izzy thought he was gonna be his bodyguard, and he was like, it was actually hilarious.
He turned a miscommunication into something hilarious.
Yeah,
like,
hilarious.
He's the only guy that can do that. Like,
so, I don't know if you saw his interview. He had the suicide rope on his wrist, and he said his wife was in his corner, and she was bringing it in between rounds, and he was touching it.
Oh, Jesus!
Like, you can't beat that.
Stop.
You can't. Yeah. That's an unreal stretch.
That's awesome.
Well, like you yourself as a fighter, like you can't beat that type of confidence that you're gonna have from that. If you're still believing it, like that rabbit's foot or whatever type of thing, right? Like it's like you can't it's like when Rocky falls down in the first one, and then whenever Apollo sees him just get up, and he's like, just the defeat in his face, like this guy's not going away. So yeah, you know, he's like when you're touching that suicide rope, that's a guy that's not going away too easy.
Shout out before easy lines, like Amanda, she goes under the radar too, like crushed Megan Anderson, ended the division, and now Juliana Pena is calling her out today. I think they have to make that fight. It's at least good for chatter. She said, either stay fat and stay at 145 or come down and fight me. Like, that's pretty ruthless. So I'd like to see that fight. And easy lines, let's go.
Yeah, okay, we'll jump into it. I don't know how much time we got here, but let's quickly recap. Last week went 5-3 overall. Obviously Jan did something illegal that ended up kind of hurting our results there, but Nunes, called that right all along. The under Izzy and Jan fight, we were 0-2 on that main event there, so missed completely. But Jan was like surprising decision win there. But overall, currently right now we're sitting at 110 wins. 70 losses career-wise with the easy line, so 61% win rate. And going into this weekend, I got some intriguing main event, welterweight division, Belal Muhammad taking on Leon Edwards. Edwards, strong favorite at -225. Belal, of course, underdog at +225. Entering the fight at two different spectrums here in terms of activity. Edwards hasn't fought since summer 2019, almost 2 full years due to injury, COVID situation, opponents backing out, whereas Belal coming off a decision win over Diego Lima just under a month ago, and which his leg and calf got beat up a little bit there. So don't know how compromised is going to be entering this fight. This is why I'm taking Leon Edwards to win this fight. Not only is he superior in terms of skill and technique, but he'll have a much more rest in him, and certainly the height and the reach advantage as well. Yes, he may have a little ring rest, I think, but I don't think it's going to affect him much, as Belal is kind of a slow starter himself, or like a plodding fighter, right? Not as active, or not as let's say speed wise, right? So Leon's is just going to be much faster, right? And that grogginess he's going to be able to overcome, I think, in the later rounds. Belal has never been finished in his career, though, right? Yeah, and he gets very few finishes himself, though. Only one of his 9 last UFC fights went to the final bell. Only one of his 9 fights did not go, did not go to the final bell. So it makes sense why the odd makers here have this bout going to the finish line. But I'm taking Edwards here actually by finish at +250. I see a lot of value here with Belal coming in short notice. He's never been in a 5-round fight. Yes, all his 3-round fights go to decision, but What happens after that? That's the question we have here. So also, he's never certainly fought anyone like Edwards' caliber before. So I like that plus 250. Edwards by finish plus 200. 2,200. Fourth round is a great value pick there as well. I think he might get the finish there. Anything to add there, Zoni, or you want me to jump in this next one?
I'll just say I agree with you. And Edwards, they said, Dana White said if he has a spectacular performance this weekend, he'll get the title shot against Usman. So I agree with you. I think he's got a lot to prove. I think he does go out and finish Muhammad, and he gets the title shot. And he deserves it.
Love it. Okay, and then in terms of the co-main event here, exciting light heavyweight fight between Misha Cirkunov and Ryan Spann. Much closer fight by the odds makers here. Misha, slight favorite, minus 138. Spann, plus 110. I'm taking Misha in this fight. I just think he's taken on a much harder competition in the past, and that experience will really be kind of proven here in this fight. Ryan is obviously an extremely athletic and fighter. Fantastic reach and length. But as I said, Misha's going to be able to lean on that experience, get in some grappling exchanges, lean on him, control the fight, get a decision win there. So I think that's another thing actually I'm liking quite a bit in this fight is the over to go decision plus 300. I mean, yes, I know Spann is very athletic and crazy things can happen, but I just think they're going to meet up pretty well. Misha's going to kind of control him, and they're just going to go to, the over in this fight looks lovely. Even over 1.5 plus 110, fucking take that right now. So what else? I know you're looking at some that's it for me, kind of, Zoni, for the main part. What are you, though? I know you're looking at some prelim fights for you.
Yeah, I will say those. I just wanted to say very quickly, a big fan of Misha Cirkunov. He lives in Toronto now. He's a Latvian Canadian, and he is the owner of a Extreme Couture gym in Toronto. So big ups to him, just living a little north from us. Hope he gets a big win on the weekend. He just beat Jimmy Crute, who's one of the hottest prospects in the division, by a Peruvian necktie. So one of the rare finishes in the UFC, which is pretty cool. So I hope he gets 2 in a row here and gets another big fight. In terms of the prelims, a guy that's on our podcast this week, Jason Witt, he's fighting, I think his name's Matthew Semmelsberger. I like the under 2.5 in that round. Both guys are going to put it on the line. And I just see something happening within the 2.5 rounds there.
Sure.
The second one there, fellow Canadian Charles Jourdain, he just came off of a draw, but he has all the tools to be one of the top featherweights in the UFC division, like top 10 for sure. I think after that draw, he kind of took a step back, and I think he gets the finish this weekend. So the finish is plus 130. I think that happens. That's the favorite to happen over a decision. The last one I wanted to quickly say was Manal Cap. So he's got punching power. I said he's got similar power to Davison Figueiredo, but is obviously not on his level. Came into the UFC, and he didn't look good in his first performance. Didn't have a lot to offer. Ended up losing a decision. I think he had some jitters coming into a big promotion like that. I think he gets the finish this weekend, and it's good value for that one as well. It is plus 175 to get the finish. So I'm looking for him to bounce back from the original thought that I had on his first fight. Kronzi?
Another Canadian, Gavin Tucker on the card, Dan Ige. That'll be a great fight.
Yep.
Nazarat is fighting as well. So
yeah, they found him an opponent, and he's undefeated. So that should be a banger too.
Yeah, big favorite, but look for some fireworks in that one, guys. So
let's go Gavin Tucker, man. Love that guy. Yeah. Hope he gets an upset.
Yeah, love it. Plus big Canadian card.
Yes, yeah. Heavy.
4 great interviews, guys. Stay tuned, and all the best this weekend. We'll catch you next week.
Hooks in. Next up on the Hooks in MMA podcast, we're lucky to have a middleweight with a big fight coming up here in a few weeks. Eryk Ya boy Anders, how's it going today?
Man, doing awesome, man. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, no problem. We appreciate it. You were telling me today you had, the wife and kids in today for, Valentine's Day. Pretty special to, hang out with them and spend some time. How was that today for you?
Man, it was good. I've been out here for a little over a month, so it's been, that long since I've seen them. So, Valentine's Day or not, it's always good to, kind of recharge batteries, if you will.
Yeah, definitely. So yeah, you mentioned you were born in the Philippines, and if you don't mind just expanding on that, how you ended up coming over to America here.
Yeah, my mom was in the Air Force, so we moved around quite a bit. They lived in Spain before that, and just kind of world travelers. And she just so happened to be in the Philippines whenever I decided to say hello.
Yeah. So growing up, obviously, I'm a huge football fan. I know a little bit about your career, but just talk about, growing up and playing sports and some of the other hobbies you had.
Sports was a really good way to like make friends and to meet new people. Like I said, we moved around quite a bit. So, always had the ability, always enjoyed playing sports. And, that's just kind of was the thing growing up. Everybody played. I got 3 other brothers. So there's 6 of us in total. But me and my brothers, every season we played a different sport. So, it's just kind of what we did. And we're also all Eagle Scouts as well, so we did quite a bit growing up.
Yeah, that's awesome. So I gotta ask, so I think you went to Smithson Valley High School?
That's right.
Yeah, so just curious, did you guys have like a Friday night lights for football games? Because our games up here in Canada were on Thursday nights, and that was kind of our cool thing for the town to come out, but it's nowhere near as big as the States is. So did you experience all that?
Oh yeah, absolutely. People always ask me what my high school experience was like playing, Texas 5A football at the time. 5A was as big as it got. And I always tell them, watch the movie Varsity Blues and what's the other one? Friday Night Lights.
Friday Night Lights, yeah.
It's obviously those movies are like super sensationalized, but that's pretty much what it was like. The whole town shuts down, and then after the game, everybody goes parties and has a good time. And the football is a religion in Texas.
Yeah, one of my good buddies is a huge Longhorns fan, so he would appreciate that. Just talk quickly about like the scholarship process. So obviously you played at Alabama. Right now, legit the best program in the country. But just talk about, people, scouts coming watching your games every week. How did that happen? Or was there a couple other places that gave you scholarships? I'm assuming there would be since you went to Alabama.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I wasn't super highly recruited coming out of high school. As a matter of fact, the only way I got to Alabama was because somebody didn't qualify academically. So they had an open scholarship. So they were kind of scrambling around to find somebody to fill that scholarship with, because it was like 2 weeks before camp started, before 2-a-days started. So my high school coach, one of my assistant coaches was roommates in college with the offensive line at Alabama coach at the time. And man, he gave him a call, told him that he heard about the situation, and he said, "Hey, I got this kid here, and he's a hard worker. He's got talent. Worst case scenario, he'd be a great special teams player for you." And man, they called me. I was gonna go to Ole Miss, but I wasn't too thrilled about doing anything in Mississippi. So Alabama called, and I came.
Yeah, and it worked out. So you went there for 4 years, I believe. In your last year, that's when you won the BCS national championship, correct?
That's right.
Yeah. So congratulations on that. That's unbelievable. There's very few people that get to experience that. Unbelievable. And then after that, I did read. You trying to go pro. You had some. I think the Cleveland Browns or something. You tried out there, and I know you tried out or at least played a little bit in the CFL. Is that correct?
Yeah, I got picked up in free agency for the Cleveland Browns. Got cut. Never really made the roster. Played a year of got picked up by the Calgary Stampeders. That didn't work out either. Played a year of arena ball and just told myself if it's not the NFL, then I don't want to play. So went and did the work thing. Joined the workforce for a little bit. And man, years kind of found myself like bored and frustrated with everything. So I wanted to blow off some steam, walk into an MMA gym, and you know, fell in love with the sport right then and there.
And very quickly, just because I'm, you know, Canadian myself, just compare, you know, trying out for the Browns and trying out or playing a little bit for Calgary there, the difference between the games.
You know, the NFL is, you know, Cleveland is very passionate fans, you know. So, man, those are the type of people that will be out there. You know, I guess the weather is very similar to Vancouver. You know, it could be sunny one day and then snow the next, you know. So, but those fans, those Cleveland fans, man, they're going to be out there, rain, hail, sleet, or snow, you know. And I imagine that the Canadian fans are the same.
Yeah, just obviously the NFL's magnified for you know, popularity and income and all that stuff. So we like the CFL up here, but I'm still a diehard NFL fan. Nick Saban, do you still keep in touch with him a little bit?
Oh yeah, Nick's you know, a very important part of my life, and you know, I think once you kind of go through an experience like the seasons and stuff, you know, you kind of formulate a special bond with these coaches and other teammates and players and whatnot. So, you know, Nick Saban will always be, you know, part of my life.
Yeah. I feel the same with coaches I've had, and I try to put that on the coaches the kids that I coach now. It's kind of a revolving door and a, you know, a circle of life kind of thing in athletics. Yeah. So just talk about the gym you're at and the coaches in your corner for your next fight.
I'm sorry, your phone broke up, or my phone was breaking up. What'd you say?
Sorry. The coaches in your corner for your next fight and just what gym you're training out of currently.
Yeah, I'm training at a Fight Ready out here in Scottsdale, Arizona, and I'll have Eddie Chaw, Santino DeFranco, and Chris Conley.
Awesome. So yeah, it's your 11th UFC fight coming up. You know, you've had some ups and downs, but you know, you always put on a show. You're fighting Darren Stewart on March 13th. How do you feel going into that one?
I'm feeling good, man. You know, I think my skill set has definitely evolved. I know a lot of fighters say that every time they get ready to fight, but I truly believe that I'm not the same fighter that I've shown in the previous fight. So I'm really excited to go out there, showcase the improvement, my skill level, and you know, go out there, get a win, and try to collect the bonus as well.
Awesome. Yeah. So, you know, leading up to a fight with the training camp and the weight cut in the fight, afterwards, what do you like to do? Like eat a big meal, have a couple drinks, see your family. What do you like to do to kind of celebrate that?
Oh yeah, I'm a big burger, pizza, and beer kind of guy, you know. So, you know, I'm really into the unhealthy stuff, sugar, sweets, and sodas and stuff like that. So I'll definitely pig out after the fight, and man, it'll be another month before I see my kids and my wife again. So, you know, definitely gonna go home after the fight, hug them tight, and you know, probably go on a little vacation and celebrate this win.
Yeah, it sounds good to me. Our last segment's between rounds. It's called. I'm gonna ask you a question, and you just give me your best answer. Okay.
All right.
Your favorite kind of food to eat?
Pizza.
This might be a bad question, but favorite sport other than MMA?
Football or wrestling.
Yeah. Do you have a favorite football team?
Obviously, college is Alabama, and man, I always find myself leaning towards the Las Vegas Raiders. So I don't have like an official NFL team, but man, I'm a big fan of the black and silver color scheme, and so man, it'd probably be the Raiders. And also, I like to watch the Bama guys, you know, do their thing, and they have Josh Jacobs and Henry Ruggs. So, you know, it's good to watch those.
Another championship this year too. Fantastic. Favorite getaway spot in let's go with Texas. If I've never been there before, which I haven't, where's a good spot to show me or tell me to go?
Man, if you're looking to get in tune with nature and get away from society and people, man, there's a little spot on the Guadalupe River right outside of San Antonio. It's actually not right outside. It's probably an hour north of San Antonio, man. If you're ever come to Texas, let me know. I'll try to meet you there and take you there. It's one of my favorite spots in the world.
Is there a fishing spot there? Because I like fishing.
Oh, baby, we got great fishing, and you can go in the river. We can go deep sea off the coast, whatever you want.
That sounds good to me. If you can't pick the United States, what's that? If you can't pick
whatever you want.
Okay, that sounds good. If you can't pick the United States, what's your favorite country in the world?
Rome, Italy is my favorite city that I've been to so far. But hopefully soon we're planning on going to Greece. I heard Greece is phenomenal, and I'm into history, and especially ancient history, and man, the Roman Colosseum, man, it just gave me chills going, walking through there. So maybe when I go to Greece, the Parthenon and all that other good stuff, we'll do the same.
Yeah, that's on my list too. Favorite kind of music?
I like all music. I'll tell you, I don't know what like my favorite genre of music is, but I'll tell you, the only music that I don't like is like that heavy metal. Like I can't understand the words, like screaming into it just sounds like noise. There's like no rhythm or anything to it. So, I don't know.
Fair enough. I'm going to give you a couple fights here. You tell me who you think's going to win, okay?
All right.
Adesanya or Blachowicz?
Adesanya by knockout.
Miocic or Ngannou too?
Ooh, Ngannou. It's just bad. I think man, that guy's evolved so much, and I'm getting out of extreme couture. So, man, I've seen the level, him leveling up. So I think that Stipe will touch him, or Nick Francis will touch him this time.
Ortega or Volkanovski?
Ortega.
And then we got in a couple weeks here, Jan or Sterling?
Who's the underdog? Sterling? I'm going to go with
Sterling.
Sterling.
Yeah, Sterling's a little bit of an underdog.
I'm going to go with the American.
All right. And then Eryk Anders or Darren Stewart on the 13th, and how's that going to finish up?
Baby, you already know your boy getting his hand raised. And, man, Darren is incredibly hard to finish. I feel like he's even got a few submissions under his belt. I think he's drastically evolved, but I think I get it done on the feet.
Yeah, I think so too. Sponsor shout out to social media to finish up.
Man, huge shout out to Infinite CBD, Nutra FX supplements, or FX, yeah, Nutra FX, Rev Gear, and these guys, they keep the recovery thing, and I need gear to train, and especially the older I get, the more recovery becomes a bigger deal. So, special shout out to those guys.
We really appreciate your time today. Multi-sport athlete, national champion, and looking for another big win here on March 13th. Eryk Ya boy Anders, this is Hooks and MMA. Thanks so much, man.
I appreciate it, brother. Thank you.
No problem. Good luck to you and with your family moving forward.
Appreciate it, brother.
Thanks, bro. You take care. Next up on the Hooks in MMA podcast, we're lucky to have a UFC legend, WEC legend. He has a big fight coming up on March 13th. Rani Yahya, how's it going today?
Everything going good. Great day of training. Feeling good.
We're looking forward to that fight coming up, and we'll talk about that in a few minutes. Just talk about growing up in Brazil and some of the hobbies you had and what got you into MMA.
Growing up in Brazil was cool. People here are very, very friendly, very warm, growing up, I was like kind of a kid that I was getting involved in a lot of street fights, first fights in school. Then I got to learn jiu-jitsu. I ended up getting some street fights on the street when I was a teenager. And then I finally became a professional. I decided to do these fights professionally. And then was when I started to put myself on track, have a real goal in life, make this my job. And and MMA kind of helped me to discover another a holistic side of the things, like a Zen side of the things, because in order for me to compete in MMA, I had to get a lot more calm, because I used to get so much adrenaline on the first matches, the first bouts I had. So I started to do yoga, meditation, and became a peaceful guy because of mixed martial arts. So becoming a professional fighter made me a better person.
I like the way you put that. What gym are you currently training out of, and who are your coaches in your corner?
Right now, I'm in Brazil. I have my own team here, Rani Yahya BJJ. That's where I'm training. But this weekend, I'm leaving to American Top Team, where I'm going to finish my camp there.
Yeah. So who are a couple guys at American Top Team that you might, be training with, guys in your division, guys maybe a weight class above? Or
Yeah, the guys I'll be training with, my head coach there will be Conan Silveira. Also train with Mike Brown, wrestling with Steve Moko. All the guys there, they're very high quality trainers. And the other training partners, there's so many good guys in my weight class. I mean, Marlon Moraes, Peter Yan, the champion in my weight class, is there right now. Pedro Munoz is there, another ranked fighter in my division. And Adriano Moraes, which is one FC champion, he is gonna fight Demetrius Johnson soon. All these guys,
Yeah, some legit guys. I was upset to hear today that the Pedro Munoz fight's off for this weekend. So I was looking.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
Yeah, I was looking forward to that. They didn't say why, but they said they're going to reschedule it. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
Your career thus far, like, it's been amazing. You a ton of fights in the WEC. A lot of success. 18 fights coming up on your next one in the UFC, I believe, and it could be your 12th win, if I'm not mistaken. Just talk to that experience and your success. And, you talked about the holistic side and how it's made you a better person. Just how have you been able to be so successful for so long in a sport that requires your attention, 6-7 days a week?
Thank you. Yeah. For a long time, I've been putting for so much work, I love the gym. I love training. That's my lifestyle, I like to eat healthy too. So all of this helps a lot. And I always had a dream to become a champion, not a champion in the UFC specifically, but become a champion, world champion, in jiu-jitsu, ADCC, eventually in MMA, and that's what made me pursue this goal and kept me there for too long, but I can tell you, man, it's not easy to be consistent for all these years, but I'm happy, man. I'm happy to be here and have another opportunity to fight next month.
Yeah, and they're like, even the way you describe it, myself, I find it hard just being consistent in everyday life, let alone grinding away like you have. So there's a level of respect for me just meeting you today, of understanding the consistencies you've gone through and the success that's followed it. So congratulations to you for that.
Thank you very much. Yeah, I think consistent is one of the keys to achieve any kind of success.
I agree. Maybe someday I'll reach that. March 13th, you fight Ray Rodriguez. What do you know about him, and how do you think you match up against him?
Man, I didn't know too much about him, but I remember I watched his UFC fight he had against Brian Kelleher. And I thought Kelleher dominated him very quickly, Kelleher kind of did what he wanted to do, which was finish the fight quick. And Kelleher has a very good guillotine and tap him out quickly. But what impressed me on that fight was how quick Kelleher got to the spot where he wanted to be, you know, and not even the finish itself, because Kelleher has a very good guillotine, so he might be able to tap anyone there, but was how quick he got to that position. And from that fight and some other fights I've been watching, Ray Rodriguez, I kind of feel because of that is a very good matchup for me, because I mean, he exposed himself a lot, you know, for submissions, you know. He kind of likes the ground game, but I think I'm many levels above him in the ground game, you know. And I think there is nothing extraordinary, nothing special on him as a striker, you know. So I'm very confident for this fight.
Yeah, so you know, looking forward to that. That's coming up soon. I just wanted to ask you a more generic question. So, with all the stuff you've done in your career, and you know, I'm not talking about, you know, this next fight here. I'm talking, you know, beyond. And I'm not asking you to look past this fight. That's not what I'm asking you to do. But just what would you like to achieve for the rest of your career? What is it that you want out of however many years you're going to fight left? What's your goal here?
Yeah, I'm a competitor, you know. One record that I hold now is the most submissions in the bantamweight division, you know. So I want to see if I can amplify that and possibly reach more and more. If you ask me now, what is my dream? My dream is that the next fight, you know, to perform at my very best and achieve whatever I can achieve on that fight. But besides that, I think a lot pursuing and achieve many other things, you know. I'm very focused on that fight now, but I also think like win a bonus in the UFC is something that I didn't achieve yet, even if I submit a lot of people there. Maybe shoot for the submission record in all divisions.
Yeah. So as to speaking about before with, you know, you talking about you take one fight at a time, which your focus should solely be on that. Going to your other point about, you know, receiving a bonus, I look back on some of your fights, and out of your last 7 wins, you had 5 submission wins, and I didn't see a bonus in there. So the UFC, get this man a bonus in his next fight, because he deserves it. He's you know, had so many great performances and needs to be rewarded by that. So Ronnie, our last segment here is called Between Rounds, and I'm going to ask you a question, and you give me your best answer, okay?
All right.
What's your favorite kind of food to eat?
Pizza.
Favorite sport other than MMA?
Jiu-jitsu.
What's your favorite country in the world? And you can't pick Brazil or the United States.
Man, what a question, man. The first one that came to my mind was Spain, because I really enjoy Barcelona, one specific town.
And have you been to Canada before?
Yeah, I went to Vancouver.
Okay.
Very nice people there.
Yeah, we're not so bad. If you had to choose, what would be your favorite kind of music?
My favorite style or one music?
Yeah, style.
Oh man, I like rock music.
And I've never been to Brazil, but if I were to come to Brazil, where would you send me? Where is a great place to go check out?
And I would tell you to come here to my town in Brasilia, the capital of Brazil. You know, this place is beautiful, and not around the town. There are many places, many little towns that has a lot of nature, a lot of waterfalls. You know, a lot of different kind of nature. You know, something probably that you only be able to see here.
I like it. Who are a couple of your favorite fighters of all time that, you know, inspire you?
Mayweather, Khabib, Nurmagomedov, Saint Pierre, and Tyson.
If they fight this year, who do you think wins, GSP or Khabib?
If they fight, this fight is 170, I think GSP. I think GSP beats Khabib.
Yeah?
Yeah, way too strategist. And I think GSP would take him down with a good double leg and would ground and pound him, you know.
Okay. Well, let's wait and see if that happens, because I'd love to see it. On March 13th, is it going to be Yahya, which I think it's going to be, or Rodriguez, and how's that fight going to play out?
Yahya, it's going to be Yahya, yeah, for sure. It can play out in many ways, you know, but I'm planning to fight to have a good performance all the 3 rounds and win by decision.
And any sponsors, shout outs, or social media to finish up?
Oh, just follow me on Instagram, Rani Yahya MMA. And yeah, and let's interact from there. Any questions, anything that I can help with, anything for anyone, will be my pleasure, you know, answer questions or anything like that, interact with the people. So just support me there and we'll be good.
And I'll be continuing to support you because you're very receptive to my answer or to my question. And, you know, your answers were great. And we really appreciate you giving up your time for this. So really excited for, you know, the rest of your career, continuing the success. And that starts with that next fight and that next fight only. And that's March 13th. So Rani Yahya, good luck on the 13th. We'll be cheering for you. And this is Hooks in MMA. Thanks so much.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Matt.
Thank you.
My pleasure.
Next up on the Hooks in MMA podcast, we're really lucky to have undefeated fighter. He's 5-0. He's fighting out of Quebec. He's born, you know, near Montreal in the country, and he's got a huge fight coming up here that hopefully can propel him to where his hat says, the UFC. Yohan White Lion Lainesse. How's it going today?
Hi, I'm good. Thank you. You good? Doing good too?
Yeah, pretty good. We had a snow day yesterday. I'm a teacher in high school, so you know, I wasn't at school teaching the youth. I was at home shoveling the snow. So you know, it's good, and it's a short week. So we got Thursday, Friday, and then looking forward to watching some UFC fights on Saturday.
Yeah, nice, very cool.
Yeah. So growing up in Quebec, what were some of the hobbies you had growing up, and what got you into MMA?
Here in Quebec, I'm doing my thing. So I'm doing my boxing. I'm doing my jiu-jitsu, wrestling a little bit. I doing some. I love to run in the mountain. So I live in Mont Saint-Hilaire. We have a mountain in Mont Saint-Hilaire. So I'm like at the 15 minutes of running of the mountain. So this is my. I feel free when I go in the mountain. So physically, mentally, the MMA is very hard. So I love to go in the wood and the nature or the outside, and that's a nice training for me. Of course, with the quarantine, we can go everywhere and do what we want. So I have to do something. So I love to play hockey too at the outside. But I'm focused on my mixed martial art. I'm a passionate guy. I love to do striking, jiu-jitsu, and wrestling every day. So in the morning, it's like a little bit of BJJ. In the middle of the day, a little bit of wrestling, and at the end of the day, doing my striking game. So this is not art for me. I live for that. So I'm doing my thing every day, and that's not a job. That's a passion for me, though. So everything is cool. I hope everything is gonna be fixed soon. But for now, we're doing a thing, and nothing can stop us.
One of my favorite quotes: "MMA is not a job; it's a lifestyle." Right? So
yes,
that sounds like what you're doing. This is embarrassing for me to say. I've been a Montreal Canadiens fan since I've been 3 years old, but I've still never been to Quebec. So the mountain you're talking about, is that close to Mount Tremblant or no?
No, not close to Mount Tremblant. It's like 1 hour of car ride car. So, but a little bit. It's not big like the Mont Tremblant. A little bit smaller, but when you run the mountain, you don't run the Mont Tremblant like 2 or 3 times by week. So
yeah.
It's a little mountain, but it's very cool. It's perfect. For the cardio, for the stamina, it's perfect.
Yeah, that's awesome. So what gym are you currently training out of, and for your upcoming fight, which coaches are in your corner?
My coach is going. It's like my jiu-jitsu coach and MMA coach. It's Lee Villeneuve. So Lee Villeneuve, I don't know if you know the guy. He was a world champion in jiu-jitsu in Abu Dhabi. He won the Pan Am champion. He won the IBJJF a lot of time champion. He's a black belt, 3 degree. That's my partner in gym. That's my coach. That's my friend. I train with him every day, 2 times a day. So he's going to go with me at Philadelphia to win my six in a row professional fight. So I train with Lee a lot of every day, and I train with Lévi Labrie, my striking coach, like 2 or 3 times by week. And I do a lot of things by myself. I have the chance to have a gym here in my house, so I have my bag of boxing. I have my space of jiu-jitsu, right, doing shadow, and my speedball. I'm very. I have a lot of equipment here.
You're well equipped.
Yeah, for sure.
So yeah, your career thus far, you're 5-0. Obviously, most people would know. I would hope your last win was, the CFFC knockout of the year. Like, absolutely incredible. I remember watching that live, and you sometimes as a fan and somebody that loves the sport, you're watching. You hope you see a really exciting fight back and forth for a few rounds. No, that's not what happened. Timely shot, an amazing shot. Knocked him out cold, and an unbelievable performance. I would say one of my favorites of 2020 for sure. So how did that feel, and how do you feel about moving forward here to hopefully get to 6-0?
I'm feeling very good, but I'm never satisfied, man. When I came back here in Canada, in Canada, Montreal, for me it's hard right now because my 2 last fights, I didn't get paid a lot. So with the quarantine, a call. So all right. With the quarantine, it's hard because I have to pay for the hotel here when I came back in Canada. I have to pay my coach, and I have to pay the fly. I have to pay a lot of things, and the money doesn't come like usual because my gym is closed. So life is very hard for me right now, but I'm so focused on going to the UFC. I know I can. I know my hard work will be payoffs. So of course, I'm very happy about my last performance. The game plan was exactly that. I know Lenny Rafati put a lot of pressure. He don't look in front. He put the head down. A lot of he put some hook, and I work on the flying knee like so much time, and it was writing on my paper. I said, when you want to close the distance, do the flying knee 100%. Jump like you want to jump over the guy. You do 100%, and I'm very happy because I landed. It's short. It's like under 30 seconds. You take the fly. You come from Montreal, Canada. You take the flight to Philadelphia. you're doing your thing like 30 seconds and it's done. You came back after. I tell that like I'm a humble guy. I don't want to getting show off, but I'm hungry than ever. I know my value. I know what I can do. I know what I can achieve, and I'm happy to fight Troy Green. I know that this guy is a striking guy. Look like a striking guy. Maybe have a lot of jiu-jitsu, a lot of wrestling. I don't know. I'm excited for this fight. I'm going to put a good performance. I'm going to show who's the white lion, and I'm going to shock the welterweight division in the CFFC.
Yeah, and making that statement's gonna get some calls coming your way. I have to admit, talking to you for 30 seconds, I can tell right away you're humble. So I love that. I love talking to people like that. It's just gonna bode well for you later on. So March 12th, that's who you're fighting. You're fighting Troy Green. You just broke down that fight a little bit for us. With the quarantine and stuff, it's probably a little harder, but what do you like to do after a big training camp and a weight cut and a fight? Do you like to go and have a bunch of food after? You spend time with family? What do you like to do?
Sorry. Of course. I love to do you hear me good?
Oh, yeah.
Because I don't hear you very good.
No, I hear you perfect.
Okay, perfect. I'm a big guy. I'm a big welterweight. I do a lot of sacrifice to go into 170. And that's why when I come into the cage, I'm very dangerous because I'm doing a lot of sacrifice. I'm hungry than ever. Like my boxing coach said, did you ever fight a lion who doesn't eat? And that's me. I'm a basic guy. I'm happy with nothing. I'm happy just to train. I'm not the guy who drinks a lot of alcohol or a party guy. Or I love my family, love my girl, love my old dog.
Speaking of that dog, can you bring that dog in for a sec?
Yeah.
Show the fans what you got here.
Coco.
Got to show him to the world, right?
Hey, so that's my boy. That's my little boy. Hey, up.
What kind is he?
That's a Rottweiler. So he's a young boy. So that's why I'm a simple man. I love to eat. So after a good win, of course, I'm going to eat with my family, with my girlfriend. Take a lot of time. Take the time to enjoy and my body, calm my body, just relax a little bit, take care of the injury and focus on the next one.
Yeah. And congratulations. You said you just got a new place with your girl. So congrats to that. That's, takes a lot of work. And
thank you very much.
Yeah. It's that next step. So just finally, between rounds, I'm going to ask you a question and there'll be however you want to answer that. Okay.
All right. Perfect. I don't listen. I don't understand too much. I'm not sure if it's the sound or.
We'll okay. try to make it work.
All right. Perfect. All right. I listened. All right. Perfect.
All right. What's the White Lion's favorite kind of food?
Oh, a cheeseburger with French fries. Yeah.
What's your favorite?
Chicken wings.
Yes.
Chicken wings. Yeah.
What's your favorite sport if it's not MMA?
Hockey.
Do you have a favorite team?
Montreal Canadiens.
My man. What's your favorite getaway spot in Canada? Favorite place to go to?
I love to go in the hotel. In the hotel with my girlfriend. Love to do the king life, like just going to the hotel, doing some massage. This is my girlfriend. This is my beautiful girlfriend with the white lion.
You're a lucky woman.
Yeah. So that's it. I love to go into the hotel, take some good time. In Montreal, Quebec, here, I have a cabane à sucre. En anglais, c'est quoi, bébé? Cabane à sucre. I have a shack in the wood. with my grandfather. So my grandfather lived in the shack in the wood. It's a lot of wood, and I love to go there. And
do you do any fishing or hunting at all?
Oh, I fishing and hunting. I love that, but I'm so busy, so I can't do it. A lot of chase and everything, but
yeah.
I love that.
Yeah, I do a lot of that myself. What's your favorite country in the world if you can't pick Canada?
Oh, favorite country in the world?
United States.
No. Abu Dhabi. I would love to fight in Abu Dhabi soon in the UFC. The vision, the building, the atmosphere, the energy look like very nice in Abu Dhabi.
Maybe later in 2021 we can get that going.
Oh yeah, for sure.
What's your favorite kind of music?
I'm a rapper. Yes.
Who do you like?
I'm an old school guy, so I love to listen 50 Cent, Tupac, Snoop Dogg, Biggie, Eminem.
All the dogs.
I'm an old school guy. If you see my list of music, it's always the old school.
Favorite kind of movie, like even a favorite movie of all time?
Favorite movie of all time, I like the biography, like a true story.
Yep.
So I'm an emotional guy. I live by my heart. I live by passion. I don't know if you know, but on Netflix, Creed 2, it's a exit. So I see Creed 2 in the last 2 or 3 years, like 4 times. So every movie of sports, it's my movie.
Awesome. And just, you don't have to say them in order, but who are your 5 favorite fighters of all time, or like who you think the 5 best fighters of all time are?
Okay, of course, I'm going to say, 5. All right. Conor McGregor. Daniel Cormier, John Jones, Israel Adesanya, GSP.
That's a pretty damn good list right there. And on March 12th, how does the White Lion get it done?
I'm going to finish Troy Green. Of course, I'm going to finish the guy. I don't know if it's by knockout or by submission, but I'll be surprised that going to pass the second round.
I'm feeling a submission for some reason. Sponsor shout-outs or social media to finish up?
Yes, for sure. I have a lot of sponsor, a lot of support. So Manulif, Emi, Maçonnerie Chicoine, High Roller Custom, Roi Lavoie, Remax Immobilier, La Méchante Virée. You go into La Méchante Virée, it's a restaurant, and we have the White Lion burger. So that's my burger, and every time we buy a burger, I have a $2 who bring for me. So
what's on that burger?
What's on that burger? Viande hachée, steak, viande steak. So 5 ounce meat, 5 ounces of meat, 3 cheese, bacon, onion caramelized, cornichon? No. Pickle.
Do you think they would send that down to near Toronto area for me? Because I want to try that.
Oh yeah, for sure. Or if you come in Montreal, just give me a text and we're going to hit that.
Sounds good. Awesome. Okay, so March 12th against Troy Green, you're going to get to 6-0. And I really feel a lot of positive vibes here for 2021 for you. We appreciate your time. Yohan, White Lion, Lainesse, thank you so much.
One thing, maybe? Basile Hafez, the champion of CFFC, it's a welterweight champion. He refused to fight me. After my win He doesn't have the choice. He needs to face me, and I'm going to put this belt on my body, all right? So I hope he listens to this, and I hope he get trained very soon because I'll be ready for his head.
Yeah, we'll tag him in this, and then we'll tell him the exact amount of time where he can listen and hear that. And yeah, you'll get through Troy Green. He won't be able to hide from me anymore. We can lock that fight in. You'll go to 7-0, and then it's UFC time. How's that sound?
That's my plan.
Yohan, White Lion, Lioness, thanks so much for your time. This is Hooks In MMA.
All right, thank you very much.
Thank you. You have a good rest of the week, and good luck.
Thank you very much.
No
Thank
problem.
you. Have a good week too.
You too. Next up on the Hooks In MMA podcast, we're really lucky to have on UFC fighter. He's a welterweight, 18-6 overall record, and he's got a big fight coming up soon here. Jason, the Manila Gorilla Witt. How's it going today?
That's going good, man. What about yourself?
Good, thanks. Getting to the middle of the week here. Looking forward to the weekend. Yeah, so just growing up, you're from Kansas City, Missouri. Growing up, what were some of the hobbies you had, and then what got you into MMA?
Yeah, so I grew up playing football, baseball. I was a pretty athletic kid. Got into skateboarding, and I still love skateboarding this day. Like I'll watch skate videos, all the time. MMA, yeah. So it was kind of a combination of a lot of things. My uncle used to be a professional boxer. The guys that lived next door to me, they were doing strength conditioning one day. They were doing strength conditioning one day, and they're like, "Hey, you trying to be a fighter?" And I was like, "I'm trying to be." And they're like, "Hey, go to this gym." So I started training my uncle. I started training this gym, like all in the same week of each other, and just took a fight like 6 weeks after that, and lost a fight, and I just kept training after that, and it just kind of turned into what it is now.
Yeah, I feel like somebody that does that. I have a few buddies that fight. That only have one fight on their record, so they lose right away and they're done. But there's other guys like yourself that it's like pisses you off. You think you could be much better, and it ends up turning out really well for them. So it seems like that's what happened to you, eh?
Yeah, it was a weird situation. I was like 21, 22 years old. I was like, hey, I was kind of a cocky kid who I never thought I could be beaten in a fight, and ended up losing my first fight. And I'm the type of person that if I lose, I want to know why, and I want to know how I can get better about it. And so that's just kind of how that turned out to be. And I just kept training.
That's a good way to go about it. What gym are you currently training out of, and who's your coaches in your corner? Yeah,
so I train out of Glory MMA and Fitness in Lainesse, Missouri. Sorry, I'm trying to get this light and not just straight in my face. I train at Glory MMA Lainesse, Missouri under James Krause. And we have multiple coaches there. In my corner this time, it'll be Jason High and James Krause. We got like people like Grant Dawson, all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, and I've talked to a few people at that gym actually, and I've heard nothing but good things about James as a coach, and he breaks down the game pretty well. So I think you're in good hands.
Yeah, he's super intelligent, he's a student of the game, that's for sure. And just he does, like you said, he breaks down fights very well. He's very, very intelligent, and his fight IQ is top notch in the game.
So yeah, your career path thus far, I told you before when I messaged you, I saw you in Burlington in just south of Toronto here in 2015. Oh, yeah. You fought at Global Warriors in like the hottest arena you could ever fight in. I heard from a couple guys that fought on that card. It was awful. But you did get the win there, and you got yourself to the UFC. You're 18-6, and the first fight in the UFC didn't turn out, I'm sure, how you wanted, but you got your UFC your second fight, you got your first win there. How can you take that win and, keep the momentum going here?
Yeah, man. I saw the first win as just kind of like the beginning. Everybody's like, oh, you made the UFC, like you finally made it. I'm like, man, I'm just getting started. Like, this is like, I won and it was nice, but it wasn't like the most glorious thing ever. It's like, okay, now I got a tougher fight, and I'm just going to keep training. I'm going to keep getting better, and I'm going to keep working my butt off until where I feel like I should be.
Yeah, so it's March 13th against Matthew Semmelsberger. I personally know quite a bit about a lot of different fighters. I don't know much about him. Do you know anything about him, and how do you think you stack up against him?
Yeah, I really never heard much about him. I know he's 7'2", ex-football player. I never heard much about him. I have watched his fight with Minus a couple times. Minus, whatever his name is. Yeah, man, tall guy. decent striker, but he's kind of that old school basic 1-2-3 striker. Not a lot of pizzazz or just specialty. Yeah, not a lot. Kind of a 1-2 striker. I think I stack up really good against him, and I know he's gonna be bigger than me, but that's obviously, Cole Williams is bigger than me, and I carried him across the cage, so I'm not an over or an undersized welterweight by any means necessary. So I really think my actually I know my grappling's gonna shine in this fight. Kind of did the last fight, and that's kind of the game plan, is just out grapple the guy and wear him down, and if you give him submission, give it to me. If he doesn't, TKO finish for sure.
Exactly. And you almost have 3 times as many fights as him. So I think that experience is going to bode well for you too. Leading up to a fight, your training camp and weight cut and the actual fight, how do you like to celebrate afterwards? Do you eat a big meal? Do you go right back in the gym a few days later? How does that look for you?
I'm gonna enjoy food. I'm a 170. Like if I go to 55, that might change. But I always we have a place in Kansas City called Minsky's. It's the best pizza that I've ever had. I enjoy it. We used to live next door to it, so you go walk and pick it up. So that was pretty cool. I always enjoy pizza. Kraus is always adamant on, hey, win, lose, or draw, like cry about it, lick your wounds. Monday, be back in the gym, and I'm always back in the gym. I won't be this time just because I'll be in Vegas, but we're actually going to the Hoover Dam on that Sunday, so I'm kind of staying a couple days later, just enjoying myself with some friends. But most times I'm back in the gym Monday. Whether I'm training or not, I'm at least there, watching or like at least trying to help people that I can.
Yeah, awesome. At least you get to spend a little bit of time in Vegas there. Hoover Dam, be a good time. Any other hobbies other than training and watching the game and actual fighting, like things you do on the side that keep you engaged and fun things to do?
Yeah, so during quarantine, I actually opened my own personal training studio, my own little gym, about 10 personal trainers, massage therapists. I've been doing personal training for about 5 years now, and it's something I love doing. It's kind of my retirement plan after fighting. And that's, I spend 45 hours a week at the gym, and then I spend, extra 20 hours at gym training myself. So I'm a busy guy. I don't really have a lot of time for other things. And I know my wife would like to see me a lot more, but at the time of my life, it's kind of, this is just where I'm at and what I'm doing.
Yeah. And that counts as, a side hobby, but I like how you said it could be, something that an investment for later on after fighting. So it seems like, you got a good strategy going on there. The final thing we do here is between rounds. I'm going to ask you a question. You give me your best answer. Okay.
Man.
I'm guessing the first one could be pizza, but favorite food?
Pizza.
Yeah. Favorite sport other than MMA?
Skateboarding considered a sport?
Absolutely. If I've never been to, actually, no, that's a lie. I've been there once. If I were to come to Kansas City again, where's a good spot to go to check out? Could be anything.
First off, it's Kansas City barbecue. You got to go to Jack Stack Steak, Jack House barbecue. It's fantastic. You can't beat downtown to the Plaza. I think they're both good shopping districts. They're a lot of fun. Yeah, those are kind of the main places. Depending on what you like to do. If you like to go shopping, if you like to eat good food, just kind of travel a little bit. Those are both fun places.
I'm a little scared to ask this. Are you a Chiefs fan or no? I
am. Yeah.
Okay. Even though I'm up in Toronto here, I've been a Bucks fan for 25 years. So the other day was a great day for me.
I'm not a super sports fan. I'm not like a diehard Chiefs fan, but I'm from Kansas City. You got to root for the home team. It's just, I'm not a huge fan of actual team sports. Just, it's not my thing.
Yeah.
But it's Kansas City. You got to root for them in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, for sure. Favorite country in the world other than the U.S.?
I haven't traveled many places. I haven't been a lot of places. I've been to Belize for my honeymoon, and that was a beautiful place. It was a fun place to go to. I'll say Belize. It's really the only place I've been to.
Okay. Favorite kind of music?
That's a tough one. I'm a wide variety of music. I can go from literally old school Bone Thugs and Harmony, hip hop, straight to a country song and no problem. I think I listen to more country music though.
Yeah, me too. Favorite movie of all time?
Legends of the Fall.
And March 13th, Witt or Semmelsberger, and how's that gonna finish up?
Witt TKO round 2.
Sounds good. Any sponsors, shoutouts, or social media to finish up?
Shout out to everybody at Glory MMA Fitness. You gotta appreciate them. All the guys that are helping me put in this camp, or just put in the years over the time. That's just, I can't thank them enough.
Watch your last few fights, but the last one, hopefully you carry over, get a second win here. We believe you will. Really appreciate your time today, and March 13th, you go get it. Jason Witt, this is Hooks in MMA. Thanks so much, man.
Hey, man, appreciate you. Thank you so much.
No problem. You take care.
Take it easy.
Bye.
Falling in and out of love, in and out of love with you. Falling in and out of love, in and out of love with you. Falling in and out of love, in and out of love with you. Falling in and out of love, yeah.